Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to lesson number 18. It's all about summary writing, and today's topic is the noisy foxes. So, I'm going to start with explaining the task first before the video so that you have a better understanding. So, when you click onto Google Classroom, click Classwork, you will find summary and read the instructions carefully. Watch the video and type a short summary of the story. Please start your sentences with a capital letter and end with a full stop. One space between the words and small letters, please. Very important. Check your spelling. So when you click onto this document, it will take you straight to this, and it says again 10 sentences, please. Why 10? Because 10 points. Correct punctuation and spelling. Type your email address, your name and the class, and you have a space here to type your summary. When you finished, click submit, and then I'll have a check. Right, let's get straight into today's story. Are you ready? Take out your pens and papers and write down any important information.
The Very Noisy Foxes by Amy Husband. Read by Elizabeth Shepherd. In a very noisy house in a very noisy city lived 3 noisy foxes. They spent all day being very noisy, mixing, fixing, hopping and bopping, banging and clanging. Wouldn't it be nice to be quiet sometimes? Asked fox number 1. Perhaps we should move to the countryside, suggested fox number 2. What a good idea, replied fox number 3. So they packed up all of their very noisy things and caught the very noisy bus to find a place to live in the very quiet countryside. In a very quiet wood in the very quiet countryside, they met an owl. "Twit-too! Who are you?" hooted the owl. "We are from the very noisy city, looking for a quiet place to live," replied fox number 1. "Where do you live, owl?" "I live up here at the top of this very tall, quiet tree," the owl said. "Oh, yes, it is very quiet, but it is too high for us," said fox number 1. "We're scared." Next, in a very quiet meadow in the very quiet countryside, the noisy foxes met a mole who popped up out of the ground. "Hello, Mole. We are from the noisy city looking for a quiet place to live. Can you help us?" asked fox number 2. "Oh, yes, I live in a very quiet place," replied the mole. "Follow me and I'll show you." "I live here in this very quiet hole underground," said the mole. "Oh, yes, it is very quiet, but it is too dark for us," said fox number 2. "We can't see. And I'm stuck." In a very quiet clearing in the very quiet countryside, the noisy foxes met a frog. "Ribbit, ribbit, what do you 3 noisy foxes want?" the frog asked. "We are looking for a quiet place to live," said fox number 3. "Where do you live, frog?" "Come with me and I'll show you," replied the frog. "I live here in this very quiet pond," said the frog. "Oh, yes, it is very quiet indeed, but it is too wet for us," said fox number 3, "and we can't swim." So the three noisy foxes kept searching for a very, very long time, and they ended up in the very quietest part of the countryside, a long, long way from the very noisy city. As they ventured along the very quiet path, they met a badger. "Hello, Badger. We're looking for a quiet place to live," said the noisy foxes. "Can you help us? We have looked everywhere." "Yes, of course. Follow me," replied the badger. "This is where I live," said the badger. "It is the quietest place in all of the countryside." "Oh, yes, it really is very quiet and very lovely. It might just be the perfect place," said the noisy foxes. "But it is just too quiet." The noisy foxes were really fed up with being quiet, so they started to make some noise. As they banged and clanged and chittered and chattered, a quiet little mouse scurried up to them. "What is all this noise about?" asked the quiet little mouse. "We need a place to live, but it can't be too high, it can't be too dark, it can't be too wet, and it definitely can't be too quiet," replied the noisy foxes. "I know the perfect place," squeaked the mouse. "Follow me."
Okay, so while the internet is still loading here, where do you think the mouse is going to take them? Do you have an idea?
Well done, little mouse. This really is the perfect place.
Okay, so that was the story, and please type your summary. Until next time, stay safe.